I was scrolling on my LinkedIn feed and I stumbled across Trimax Systems LinkedIn page, and that's how I discovered that Tesco Systems had acquired them. So I reached out to Tesco, and I was honored to find that Shain Thomas, the CEO, and Dave Kubel, the VP of Technical Services at Tesco, they were open to having an interview with me. So we talk about the acquisition, but we also talk about the story of Tesco, how they grew from a $25-30 million a year system integrator to now $150 million a year system integrator. So it's a really great podcast, great interview. And so if you guys liked it, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe, and check out the Automation Month on the Zack Scriven podcast for more industrial automation content. Dave, Shain, thank you guys for the interview, and thank you guys for listening and watching. Enjoy the video. First and foremost, thank you. Recently we've discovered that Trimax system has been acquired by Tesco Controls. So we're going to get into that in a second, but I thought it might be first good to start off with telling the story of Tesco Controls and how you guys got to where you are today, where you're acquiring large and reputable system integrators. So.
Okay, well, thank you. Tesco Controls, we got our start in 1972, incorporated in 1972. Obviously, the founder, Wallace Tessmer, started the organization building products for the state of California for transportation, and quickly moved into control systems for water, wastewater. And then, obviously, that was a little while ago. And I'd say really the last 5-6 years has really been kind of a planning of growth for Tesco Controls. So we have expanded our territory. We've had grown our organization organically here in Sacramento, California, remote facilities. I think, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, over the last 5-6 years, we've added probably close to 150 engineers.
It is about 100 that we've added, yeah.
So we had 100 engineers. Wow. We've expanded our manufacturing facility. We've really focused on becoming an industry leader and being known as an industry leader. So that's been very exciting for us. So our performance, our philosophy of customer first has really allowed us to grow. We were really a $20-25 million a year organization. This year we'll probably be right around $150 million. And wow. That's exciting for us. And our customer base has really grown, and we're excited about that. And therefore, growing has brought us some new opportunities. And looking at controlling our own destiny, we started thinking about some acquisitions, and we were fortunate enough to come across this opportunity with Trimax, another organization that we greatly respect with their client-first attitude, and it kind of moved along quickly. And I know you have some questions about that, so
yeah, definitely.
But yeah, Tesco, we're super excited. We became an employee-owned company, 100% employee-owned in 2003. That's really helped our culture. It's really helped our employees focus on doing the right thing with each other, with our clients. And that's really kind of with some decisions at the top, we've really kind of allowed us to grow, and it's been fun. It's definitely been fun.
Awesome. So when you said you were a $25 million a year organization, now up to 150, give us an idea of that timeline. Was that back in 2003 before you said you went from non-employee?
Yeah, in the early 2000s, early 2000s, and then the housing boom in 2004, 5, 6. Really kind of allowed us to get up to that $35 million a year mark. Then obviously we had the Great Recession hit us, and we didn't shrink. We got it to about 35-40 million and stayed in there. And then since then is when we've really kind of experienced our growth. We were fortunate enough to make some decisions to move from 5 buildings to our new corporate headquarters. We moved here in 2010, 130,000 square feet. Keep all the teammates under one roof. That really helped. So when the recession did end, we were ready to rock and roll. So that was very helpful.
Awesome. Yeah, I drove by the building when I was up in Folsom for the Ignition Community Conference. Beautiful building. Yeah. Maybe when you guys acquire your next system integrator, I might come up there and conduct the interview in person. But so you guys talked about customer first, but there's so many system integrators out there. with the vast majority of them being small, like I'd say 10 or less employees, maybe less than $2 million.
Sure.
What do you think is the biggest key to your guys' success to be able to grow past that threshold and then even beyond?
Well, we do things a little bit different here. Obviously, we've had a complete focus on water, wastewater. So a lot of integrators do different industries. We've been focused on water, wastewater. Allows us to build our relationships. Another thing, too, is that at Tesco, we wanted to be a one-stop solution. And so we were able to, obviously have the SCADA systems. We were able to supply motor control centers, VFDs, custom fabrication, manufacturing. So we call it one-stop shopping, where we can provide a complete package for the contractors or the municipalities and allow them just to focus with us. And that has helped us grow. And we didn't focus on one platform. We're highly certified in all major platforms. Therefore, if an end user has a preference for Rockwell or Schneider or Siemens or Inductive, anything like that, we have highly certified engineers that can work on those projects. So that has really allowed us to kind of meet the needs of a bunch of clients instead of just a few.
I would add to that, there's a couple areas that, one of the things that Tesco really has excelled at is a strong customer focus. And the response that we have from our customers is absolutely fantastic from a standpoint of commitment to us, and that's because of commitment to them. I'd also say over the last 6 years, which we've had a lot of growth in the last 6 years, we've had an internal focus on changing our processes and quality, and a commitment to CSIA and best practices. But we really have focused on going from about a $40 million to a $100 million a year company. You can do a lot of things at $40 million where you have people that really have a lot of tribal knowledge and a lot of understanding in the systems and the processes or how things get done. But to really grow beyond that to where we're at now, it has really been about formalizing a lot of our business processes and focusing on that and consistency.
And one thing I'll add to that is we've always been a company that understands you are successful as your employees, but also about 6-7 years ago, we took a real hard look at culture and understood that was going to make us successful. So we've really put plans together to have a healthy, productive culture, and that's what's helped us grow also.
Very awesome.
We have a lot of employees that have been here. I mean, I've been here 20 years. We have a lot of employees that have been here a lot longer than I have, and the amount of employees that have been here over 10 years is staggering. So we have very, very good retention, and a lot of the newer employees we're hiring, they spread the word of how much fun it is to work at Tesco, the challenges of working in our industry, and so we have a lot of people wanting to work here, which is really, really nice.
Very cool. Yeah, I think Keith Webb is still there, and just to provide a little context, you could say I got my roots started in system integration before I was born, when my dad actually worked at Tesco in the early 90s. So, I was born in Sacramento, but then we moved to Southern California, and my dad, he went to go work for Wonderware, went to go work with my mom and the company they started in water, wastewater called Waterhammer. So it has been an interesting journey, and it's a very niche industry. And I just wanted to provide that context because, Keith Webb, one of my dad's close buddies, still works there, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
he does.
And you may not know this, but I worked very close with your dad back with Tesco, with Keith. He had a project in Illinois, the Department of Transportation project, that I worked very closely with him on that.
Awesome. Very cool. I didn't know that. Yeah, so that's very cool.
Small world.
So let's talk about Trimax. Let's if you were to summarize Trimax in 1 to 2 minutes, what would you say the story of Trimax has been up until the point before they were acquired?
To be honest, we talk about this, and we see Trimax at the point of acquisition. We see them as a younger version of Tesco. They were founded by a family, and they have really been a customer-focused organization. And so when 20 years I've been at Tesco, involved in all the competitors and everything like that, one of the competitors I really, really, truly respected was Trimax. because I always heard compliments. We go in to see end users, we go in to see consultants, and they talk about what a great job Trimax has done. I like that. We have a philosophy of we're trying to build a client for life. We're not trying to just get a job and get done through that job, and Trimax had that same philosophy. So that was exciting for us. Their skill set of the employees they have is just truly amazing. The industries that they're in, besides water, wastewater, was really exciting for us. And we look at it as Tesco when we were just starting to think about growing and getting to that next level. That's Trimax. And I can tell you that every day that we, after the acquisition happened and all the different interactions we have with them, the planning we have with Trimax, every day we're more and more excited to have them as part of the Tesco family.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Very cool. I do say that I do like the move to retain the Trimax brand and label it as a Tesco Controls company. I think that's really cool. Yep. So why don't you talk a little bit about how that deal came to be? How did it come up? Whose idea was it, and how long did that deal take to happen, and some of the details maybe for someone who might be looking at acquiring their own system integrator or being acquired. Any details you can share would be, I think, helpful.
Absolutely. So, I've been looking at acquisitions now for probably 3-4 years, knowing that Tesco is growing and that we're going to have the opportunities we have in front of us. And so I've met with numerous system integrators about possibly, merging, having us acquire them. But there has to be the right feel to it. And, there have to be somewhat similar philosophies when it comes to running an organization. And so a lot of companies I met with, it was a quick courtship and it was over because it just didn't feel right to me. So sometimes in life, sometimes in business, you get a little lucky. And I happen to be with a close friend of mine, and he's kind of a mentor of mine. And we were talking about acquisitions, the way to go about it, the way to be successful. I was talking to him about the fact that I know that for Tesco to get to that next level, we might have to do a few acquisitions. And he says, I have a friend who's representing an integrator that might be up for sale. I said, wait, great, who's that? So we had conversations, no names were mentioned. But when I started hearing some stories about this integrator, I started thinking in my mind, this might be Trimax. And if that's the case, I'm truly excited. So we signed the NDA, the paperwork, and then boom, soon enough, yep, I got all the paperwork. It was Trimax. So that was when we started making some phone calls. I set up a meeting with Dean and Marty McLaughlin. And I will tell you that, as any competitor sitting in another competitor's office, sometimes it's a little uncomfortable. Met with them one day. Yeah, it was fun. But you know what? We met at 10 a.m. and by 5 p.m. we were hugging when we were leaving because it was truly exciting for both organizations of a possibility of teaming. So that was exciting. So from that day to final paperwork being signed was almost a year. It was almost a year to kind of get it done. And I tell you, our employees are excited. Trimax employees are excited. And, I love the fact that you mentioned that you liked how we left the Trimax name. And that was important to me. It was important to the McLaughlins because of their reputation. That's a brand name that's very respected, and we want to help that brand name grow even more. So yeah, we're already a close family, and it's only going to get better.
Awesome. Yeah, I actually had an opportunity to work along with Trimax on a SCADA project, and I truly felt as a subcontractor, and I truly felt like I was part of the team, and it was actually a great project, and met many connections whom I still work with today, and yeah. So okay, so I want to ask how much the acquisition was, but I think a better question might be to ask is, I mean, if you're willing to share, I'm all ears. But how would you go about evaluating a system integration company? Is it revenue, times X? Is it sales plus Y? How do you value human capital? Any information you can share is awesome.
Yeah. So the price was enough to make them happy and enough to make us happy. How about that? But when you look at any business, you got to look back at their last 3-4 years of performance. And that, and you have multiples of either EBITDA, profitability. You look at it different ways. But this was a little different situation where we looked at it as, okay, they have strategic locations, they have key employees, they have entry into other industries, and that meant a little bit to us also. For them, one of the reasons why Tesco was the right choice, because they had another option, was because of our family first attitude, our customer first attitude. They knew that we were going to, come in, take care of the employees. We were going to help them with processes and standards as they are helping us with process and standards. That combined, we're going to be able to help that brand name grow, and we're going to help make their employees more successful. So, yes, so there are different things when it comes into coming up with the final dollar amount for an acquisition. But they've been a successful company. Their profitability has showed that they were a successful company, and and they were looking to make a decision to help the company grow. And that was, fortunate for us. It was the right decision.
Awesome. Yeah, I think, from what you're saying is like, if the relationship isn't right, then no dollar amount would make sense, because the relationship first is what is important.
Yes.
I have a couple industry questions for you guys. So I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but being that you guys are a leader in, system integration and particularly water and wastewater and city infrastructure, I'd like to know, what are some of the innovations and newer technologies that you guys are really interested in driving value for your clients and customers?
Well, so from an industry standpoint, there are some. Let me answer it this way. As far as some of the things that we're seeing that are impacting our business, there are some general trends that one is just the general move towards design build, and in the water industry, and we're seeing more of that. I mean, you went 5-10 years ago, you didn't see a lot of that. That definitely has a very positive impact for us. It puts the system integrator in a different role, whereas a traditional design bid build is more is a little bit more less of a team effort. But we come in up front on these types of projects and provide value right up front, and it's much more collaborative on where the project goes. So we're seeing a lot of that. That's helping our business, and I think it's better for the clients. And I think they get more of what they want right up front, and it puts it in a collaborative as opposed to a more of a contentious at times environment.
You have just, speaking of design build, we've had so many jobs our entire career where, we're the lowly system integrator and we're being held to the law of the plans and specs, and the consultant is there to protect their design, and any little holes is, it's where design build, we are actually on a lot of these jobs, we are first to the team. And we are working with the consultant for 1.5 years with the design. So we're all on the same page when that design is finished. And then when we go to implement it, it's very smooth. And the projects are getting done faster, projects are getting done cheaper, and it's been a win-win really for everybody, especially the owners.
Awesome.
So another area that I would touch on that from a trend standpoint that is affecting Tesco and our approach is security. And we're, if I kind of step back, we're 15 years, a little over that after 9/11. There was a big focus after 9/11 on security across multiple industries. We are not regulated from that standpoint in the water wastewater industry. To me, we're seeing more of the large designs that have security requirements in them, which we applaud. That said, I would say less than half of the projects that we see coming to us where it's specified have what we would consider appropriate security controls built in. And as an industry, that's kind of a bummer because we really need to move that forward. We'd love to see it much more across the board. We have, another trend in that we are very proud to be CSIA certified, Control System Integrator certified. We do that because it is the quality certification available in our industry. And as a commitment to quality, we are committed 100% to their best practices. And one of the best practices that we're very excited that they have moved forward on is security. And so when they are auditing somebody and they come in and audit us on our business practices, they're looking at how we secure our systems. And we've made the commitment to follow Department of Homeland Security guidelines and architectures and recommendations across the board, regardless of if it's specified or not. And it's important to us. It doesn't necessarily puts us in a little bit awkward position at some bid days, because if it's not specified, we would like to see more of that. But it is definitely something that has trended up, but slower than we would like.
Some of the exciting things was CSIA. So when they decided that the security was going to be a big focus of their audit, they asked Tesco Controls to be at the forefront. They wanted to run the plan through us first, and that was really exciting. And just because I'm so proud of Tesco, is DHS audited systems, and the highest rated system was one, I can't mention the city, but was a Tesco control system. And with us pushing it forward, we actually had the FBI contact us for cybersecurity and the monitoring of water infrastructure, and we're coordinating with them. So it's very, very important to us, and we see this as kind of a game changer for the water wastewater industry.
Awesome. That sounds exciting. Yeah, I mean, I was going to ask, are you guys looking towards your customers to innovate, or are they relying on you to innovate? And it sounds like they are relying on the system integrator to be the expert and drive innovation, and going with the design build project is making that easier process rather than the design bid and then built by someone else. So
we've always been, we've always wanted to have our clients think of us as their solution provider, and we feel it's our responsibility to make them aware of the future, everything going on. So yeah, it really has been us meeting with our clients, letting them know options out there, and helping them move in the right direction.
Very cool. Okay, so I kind of have a final closing question, and it's a bit of a open-ended question, and you guys can take it whichever way you want. But hypothetically, if you were to have a brand new city, a completely green field, and you guys do the water, the wastewater, the traffic, the security. What does that system look like? How do you guys architect that system? What are some of the technologies that you're using to make that city truly a smart city?
Wow, that's a great question. We have actually been fortunate enough that we just finished the water and wastewater infrastructure for a brand new city in California. Dirt was purchased, dirt was flattened. We built everything. Then we're building the parks, we're building the street lighting, and we're also doing one in another state. So it's a great question, and the answer is we have a collaborative approach. Now, you understand that it's a tough question for us, as we're notified yesterday. We're
you want to be agnostic.
Agnostic. Absolutely. We're a solution partner for Rockwell. We're a solution partner for Siemens. We're a solution partner for Schneider. But what we do is we usually present options and features and functions to the team in a collaborative approach, find out what they're looking for. So to be honest with you, we are currently doing a full Schneider, full Rockwell, and a full Siemens solution in 3 new cities. And so again, that's something I was mentioning earlier about Tesco, is we're not just tied to one. There's certain applications where we go in and we make our recommendations based on their existing equipment, stuff like that. But yeah, we have different packages that we use. So not to dance around the question there.
No, I understand.
So we have used all.
So you guys, are you still using your guys' integrated PLCs as part of your guys' standard architecture, or it just depends? Or
no, it's not part of our standard architecture. Again, I think it's a lot of people out there think that, a majority of our systems have Tesco PLCs and stuff like that. But 90% of the systems we supply are Rockwell, Siemens, or Schneider, and 10%. Now, are we still building our PLCs? Are we currently upgrading our PLCs with newest technology? Absolutely. We still have thousands of installations of our products across the United States. that is focused solely for water, wastewater. So we have, big clients that when they have a really corrosive environment, or they have an environment that's really temperature, hot, and other products have failed, we'll come in with our products and usually be pretty successful at that. So no, when your dad was at Tesco, we had our own SCADA platform. That is no longer the case. Obviously, we ended that years ago.
Including the software, or do you guys have any other software products that might be coming out, or?
No, we just PLC and PLC software. We're not doing anything SCADA related. Again, so we're certifying all the major platforms, and we stick to those. But yeah, we still consider ourselves a small R&D company, large system integrator. We're constantly pushing ourselves to develop that next product that's going to help the water wastewater industry. Whether it's custom VFDs, whether it's software, whether it's PLCs, whether it's level instrumentation. But again, 90% of the stuff we do is with what you consider the global brand names.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. If you guys have any questions for me or for the audience, now would be the time.
Well, I kind of have a question for you. Clearly, you grew up in the system integration world and the system integration business, hands-on, and now you're doing this.
Yeah.
And major life change. And what are your thoughts? And clearly going from a technical application standpoint to marketing, very much a people type of a business. How's that impacted your life as a whole?
Wow, what a great question. I'd say it's like night and day. I truly feel fulfilled and excited about what it is that I'm doing. I saw it as a void, a vacuum within the market, something that wasn't there that I felt should be, and I felt that me doing that, I'm able to have a bigger impact on the industry. I think that communication like this is very powerful. I think it helps, obviously spread messages of positivity and companies that are values-based and wanting to do the right thing. Like, that's important to me. And I think it helps advance the technology faster. I think, so it's really been a shift, but it's been one that has been hard, but it hasn't felt very hard because I've been so passionate about it, and it seems to be working. I was invited to the CSIA as a marketing representative of the media. Somehow got an interview with C-level from Tesco, it's been an honor. Thank you guys so much.
Well, I want to say thank you, because you're helping bring the education of system integration and the importance of system integration to the world. It wasn't too long ago that the focus was very civil centric, and there wasn't a focus on the importance of a system integrator, on making everything work when you flip that switch at the end of a project. And we're starting to see more and more of the high level consultants, contractors starting to really understand the importance of a quality system integrator, and that's been great for us, and you're helping push that, so thank you for that.
Well, thank you guys. Best of luck for the rest of 2019 and, the relationship with Trimax. And maybe we'll talk again soon someday.
You got it.
All right, great. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.